Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a little different. We're not just talking theory.
Right. We are basically building a machine today.
Yeah, building a machine. Imagine an offer that is so good, so valuable, and so risk-free that your customers they would actually feel stupid saying no to it.
I mean, that is the literal definition of a Grand Slam offer.
Okay.
And honestly, if you get this right, it solves almost every other problem in a business. Sales become easier, your marketing gets cheaper, and retention just goes through the roof.
Exactly. So we are diving into the source material today, specifically $100 ever offers. And our mission today is to create an actionable playbook for you.
Yeah, we are skipping the fluff completely.
Right. We aren't just summarizing here. We want you to walk away with a literal step-by-step template. We're going to cover the math behind desire, how to structure your pricing so you're in a category of one.
And the psychological levers, too. Things like scarcity and urgency that actually make people pull the trigger and buy it right now.
So let's get straight to the mechanics of this. We need to talk about why most businesses fail to scale in the first place. And that usually starts with what the source calls the commodity trap.
Yeah, the commodity trap. Let's start right there because commodity is one of those words that business school professors just love to throw around.
Right. But what does it actually look like in the wild?
Well, it looks like a race to the bottom. If you look like everyone else, if you sound like everyone else, and you sell the exact same thing as the guy down the street, the only lever you have left to pull is price.
You're just fighting for scraps at that point.
Exactly. You're fighting for scraps.
So you drop your price to get the sale, and then your competitor sees that and drops theirs. And eventually,
nobody has any margin left to actually run a good business.
right.
And the core argument here is that you need to break out of that comparison game entirely. You need to sell something that physically cannot be compared to the competition.
Which is the Grand Slam offer.
Yes. But the first step to getting there, and this is the part that really scares people, is that you usually have to charge a lot more.
It is super counterintuitive. I mean, most people think, hey, if I'm struggling to sell my service at $100, how could I possibly sell it at $1,000 or $10,000?
It feels like business suicide.
It really does.
Yeah.
But the math tells a totally different story. The text calls this the virtuous cycle of price.
Right. Let's break that down because it's brilliant. You have to look at it from two sides, the client side and the business side.
Okay, start with the client.
So when you charge a premium price, you actually get a completely different kind of customer. Think about it. If you sell a course online for $50, the emotional investment from the buyer is near zero.
Oh, absolutely. I've bought $50 courses I haven't even opened.
Exactly. It's shelf help.
Shelf help, yeah.
And low investment means low compliance. If they don't do the work, they don't get the result. If they don't get the result, who do they blame?
They blame the product.
Right. They blame you. So your perceived value tanks.
So ironically, a cheap price actually sets the customer up to fail from day one.
Precisely. Now flip it. Imagine you charge $10,000 for that exact same outcome. That client is showing up to every call early. They are taking detailed notes.
Because it hurts.
Exactly. They are doing every single piece of homework because the pain of wasting 10 grand is just too high. High compliance leads to better results. Better results lead to higher perceived value.
And that's just the client side of the cycle. The business side is where the machine really turns on.
Yes, because margin is the fuel for growth. If I have a high margin because I'm charging a premium, I can afford to hire better staff. I can build better software tools.
Right.
I can literally sit on a Zoom call with you for 3 hours if you need it, instead of rushing you off the phone in 20 minutes to get to the next guy.
Because you've already been paid for that time.
Yeah.
By charging more, you actually get the resources to create a superior product, which in turn justifies the higher price you just charged.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You literally cannot provide the best service in your industry if you are the cheapest option. It is mathematically impossible.
Let's ground this with the B2B lead gen agency example from the text, because I think the numbers prove this perfectly.
Oh, the tale of two agencies. This is a great one.
Yeah, break down the standard agency first.
Okay, so the first one is your standard ad agency. They charge a flat monthly retainer, let's just say $1,000 a month. You pay them, they log in, they run your Facebook ads.
Which is pretty much how 99% of them operate.
Right. But in this case study, the stats were dismal. The client spends their own money on the ads, they pay the agency, the retainer, and they are basically breaking even or worse.
The return on ad spend, the ROAS, was like 0.5 to 1, right?
Yeah, they were literally losing money. For every dollar they put in, they got 50 cents back.
And when clients lose money, They churn, they cancel their contracts. So the agency is constantly on this hamster wheel, just looking for new business to replace the people leaving.
Exactly. So then the author flips it to a Grand Slam offer. Now, the fulfillment is the exact same. They are still just running ads.
But the offer structure changes.
Completely changes. Instead of a monthly retainer, it's a pay-for-performance model. 0 recurring fees. But there is a much bigger upfront setup fee to cover the initial build-out.
Okay, but why would that change the actual results the client gets?
Because suddenly the agency is incentivized by the actual outcome, not just doing the busy work. They added new pieces to the offer to make sure the client succeeded.
Right.
They didn't just stop at running the ads, they added sales coaching. They gave the client proven closing scripts. They even threw in a guarantee.
Ah, I see. So they bridged the gap. The agency realized, hey, we can send you 100 leads, but if your sales team sucks at closing them, we don't get our performance pay.
Exactly. They align their success with the client's success, and look at the difference in the result. The price went from a $1,000 retainer to a $4,000 upfront setup fee.
4 times the price.
But because the offer was stronger, because it was pay on performance, the perceived risk for the client completely dropped. The response rate to the ads tripled. The actual closing rate on the leads doubled.
And the return on ad spend went from 0.5 to 11.2.
Yes, an 11.2 times return for the client. And the agency ended up collecting something like 22 times more cash up front for the exact same amount of labor.
That is just wild. 22 times more cash just because they changed the wrapper of the offer. They moved from a commodity retainer to a performance partner.
And that is the power of a Grand Slam offer.
Okay, so we know we need to charge more. We know we need to stop being a commodity. But how do we actually calculate value? Because obviously you can't just slap a $10,000 price tag on garbage and expect people to buy it.
No, you definitely can't do that. And this is where the source introduces the value equation. Honestly, this is probably the most actionable framework in the entire deep dive.
It's a literal mathematical formula for human desire.
It really is. So let's visualize this as a fraction.
Yeah.
You've got a top part, the numerator, and a bottom part, the denominator.
Right, and the goal is to drive the top part as high as possible. So what's the first variable up there?
The first one is the dream outcome. This is the what?
Like losing 20 pounds or making $1 million or saving your marriage.
Correct. But there is a massive trap here that most business owners fall into. Everyone competes on the dream outcome. Every single fitness trainer on Instagram promises weight loss.
Right. Every business coach promises you'll scale to 7 figures.
Exactly. So you actually can't differentiate yourself very much on the dream outcome alone.
So what is the second variable on the top of the fraction?
The perceived likelihood of achievement. This is all about certainty. How confident is the prospective client that your specific vehicle will work for them?
Ah, so this is why done-for-you services can charge so much more than do-it-yourself courses.
100%. Think about it. If I sell you an online course on how to code a custom website, the likelihood of you actually finishing that course and having a great website is pretty moderate, maybe low.
Very low for me, yeah.
But if I look at you and say, I will build your custom website for you from scratch, the likelihood goes to 100%. People will always pay a massive premium for certainty.
Okay, so we maximize the dream outcome, and we maximize the certainty of getting it. Now let's look at the bottom of the fraction, the denominator. These are the things we want to drive down to 0, right?
Right. The two variables on the bottom are time delay and effort and sacrifice.
Let's break time delay down first.
Time delay is simply the gap between the moment I hand you my credit card and the moment I get the promised result. Humans naturally overvalue the present moment. We want things now.
Right. If I order an Uber, the delay is 5 minutes. If I buy into a retirement mutual fund, the delay is 30 years.
Exactly. And the longer the delay, the less we value the offer in the present moment. And the second variable on the bottom is effort and sacrifice. This is the friction.
The pain in the ass factor.
Yes, the things the client hates doing. Do I have to give up eating carbs? Do I have to make 100 cold calls a day? Do I have to learn how to use complex new software?
And the real aha moment in the text here is that if you can mathematically drive time delay and effort down to 0, the value of your offer theoretically becomes infinite.
The source uses this meditation versus Xanax comparison to illustrate this, and I think it is just brilliant.
It's a little cynical, sure, but it really lands the point.
Think about meditation. What is the dream outcome? Peace of mind, less daily anxiety? That's a great outcome.
What?
But look at the bottom of the equation.
It's super heavy.
Yeah, high effort. You have to learn how to sit still and quiet your mind for an hour. High time delay. It takes months or years to actually get
Whoa.
good at it. And low likelihood of achievement because most people just quit.
And the result of that math, meditation is mostly free, or you paid $10 a month for an app.
Now look at Xanax. Same exact dream outcome. Less anxiety.
But the bottom of the equation is totally different.
Exactly. Effort. Zero. You literally just swallow a tiny pill. Time delay. About 15 minutes. Likelihood of achievement. Pretty much 100%.
And the result is a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry.
That right there is the entire playbook. As a business owner, you don't necessarily need to create a quote-unquote better product in terms of sheer quality. You need to create a product that delivers the result faster and with a less effort.
So if you're a B2B consultant, stop asking your new clients to fill out a 20-page onboarding form. That's massive effort. Just jump on a call and fill it out for them.
Exactly. That instantly increases the perceived value of your service without you having to be a better consultant.
Okay, so we have the math. We understand the value equation. Now we actually have to build the offer itself. The source material lays out a specific offer-building template, and it starts with a concept called divergent thinking.
Right. So step one is problem identification. Most people just list the obvious core problem, like, my client needs to lose weight.
But that's not enough.
No. The text says you need to list every single granular step that happens before, during, and after that core result that causes any kind of friction for the client.
So sticking with the weight loss example,
Yeah.
it's not just about eating healthy. The problems are things like grocery shopping takes too long, or I don't know how to cook chicken so it tastes good.
Or I feel really awkward ordering a dry salad when I'm out at a restaurant with my friends. Or my kids refuse to eat healthy food, so I have to cook 2 meals.
Right. You list out every single one of those obstacles. Then what's step two?
Step two is you turn problems into solutions. You just invoke them. So grocery shopping takes too long becomes a system to make grocery shopping fast and easy.
Simple enough, but here is where it gets really interesting. Step three is that divergent thinking part. Brainstorming exactly how to deliver that solution.
Yes. You can't just go with your very first idea. For the grocery shopping problem, you could solve that in a bunch of ways.
Like what?
Well, you could write them a custom grocery list. You could take them to the store and teach them how to shop. You could use Instacart to have the food delivered directly to their door.
You could send them pre-prepped meals in the mail.
Or you could literally move into their house and cook every meal for them.
I feel like moving in is definitely a high-effort solution for the business owner.
Which brings us perfectly to the filter. Step 4 is trim and stack. You want to look at all those brainstorm solutions and only keep the ones that are high value to the client but low cost to the business.
The holy grail of business. High value, low cost.
Right. Moving into their house is extremely high value to them, but it's a massive unscalable cost to you. Bad idea. Writing a generic grocery list is low cost to you, but it's also pretty low value to them.
But what about something like a one-click digital Instacart cart that's already preloaded with the week's meals?
Bingo. High value to the client, zero marginal cost to you once it's built. Digital assets are king here. The source calls this the one-to-many rule. You build the asset once, and you can sell it 1,000,000 times.
So you take all these high-value, low-cost solutions and you stack them together. You aren't just selling a standard gym membership anymore.
No, you are selling the ultimate 6-week transformation. And that stack includes the customized workout plan, the one-click grocery hacking system, the eating out survival guide, the hotel travel workout plan, and access to a private accountability group.
And suddenly you cannot compare that to the $29 a month gym down the street. It is a completely different beast.
It feels massive. It feels like you are getting $5,000 worth of real value.
And that creates the exact price-to-value discrepancy we talked about earlier. We want the value to feel huge compared to the price. But we aren't quite done yet. We have the core offer stack, but now we need to add what the text calls the enhancers.
Right, the psychological triggers. Scarcity, urgency, and bonuses.
Let's start with bonuses, because the psychology here is fascinating. A single offer is actually perceived as less valuable than that exact same offer broken into smaller pieces.
It sounds weird, but it's true. Let's say I sell you a quote-unquote comprehensive online marketing course. That is one single item.
Right.
But if instead I sell you a core marketing course, PLUS, a bonus copywriting masterclass, PLUS, a bonus Facebook ads template, PLUS, a bonus email subject line swipe file.
Even if it is the exact same amount of content overall, the second presentation feels way more valuable.
Because it feels like you are getting a bunch of extra stuff for free. You present the core offer first to anchor the price in their mind, and then you just stack these bonuses on top to make the value feel totally overwhelming.
And there is a pro tip in the book here, too. You can actually use other businesses' products as your bonuses.
Oh, the massage therapist example. I love this one.
I'll walk through that.
So if you run a gym, you go to a local massage therapist in your town. You ask them for 10 free massage vouchers. They will give them to you for free because it's a lead generation tool for them. They want the exposure.
Right.
Then you take those vouchers and add them to your gym's offer stack as a quote-unquote $100 free bonus. It cost you literally $0, but it just added $100 of perceived value to your stack.
That is just incredibly smart leverage.
Oh.
Okay, now let's talk about scarcity and urgency, because people confuse these two all the time.
They do. Scarcity is strictly about quantity. Think, only 5 spots left. Or, we only take 10 new clients a month.
It's basic supply and demand. If there is less of something available, our brains automatically assume it must be more valuable.
Exactly. And urgency is about time.
So things like the cohort starts this Monday, or the free bonuses expire at midnight tonight.
Right. Urgency fights procrastination. The text calls this reducing the action threshold. People generally want to buy your stuff, but human beings are lazy. We will put it off until tomorrow if we can.
Urgency gives them a concrete reason to pull out their credit card right now. But we have to mention, this has to be ethical, right? You can't just throw up a fake countdown timer on your website that magically resets every time I refresh the page.
No, you really can't. Consumers are smart. False scarcity destroys your trust and your brand. But you can manufacture real ethical scarcity.
How do you do that?
By limiting your own capacity. For example, you can say, I only have the bandwidth to handle 5 new onboarding calls this week. That is real, actual scarcity based on the physical limits of your time.
Got it. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Risk. Every buyer is secretly afraid of getting ripped off. And this brings us to guarantees.
A strong guarantee reverses the risk. It takes the risk off the buyer's shoulders and puts it squarely onto the seller's shoulders. And frankly, if you are actually confident in your product, you should be willing to take on that risk.
The source outlines a few different types of guarantees. The most common is the unconditional guarantee.
Right, the standard, no questions asked, 30-day money-back guarantee, which is fine for lower ticket items.
But for high-ticket stuff,
for high ticket, you probably want a conditional guarantee, something like, I will double your money back if you do step X, step Y, and step Z, and you still don't get the promised result.
that is clever because it attracts serious buyers who are actually willing to do the work, and it repels the tire kickers who just want a refund.
Exactly. And then there is the total opposite, the anti-guarantee.
All sales are final.
Yes. That is an absolute power move. It screams exclusivity. It says this information is so valuable that once you see it, you can't unsee it. So absolutely no refunds.
But I have to say, my absolute favorite part of the whole book is the script he gives for a really bold guarantee. He calls it the club a baby seal script.
Oh, yeah. That one is hilarious. It basically goes, if after 30 days of using our product, you wouldn't club a baby seal to stay a customer, you don't have to pay us a single penny.
It is funny, it's super memorable, but underneath the joke, it demonstrates supreme confidence in the product. It breaks the tension in a sales conversation.
And that is exactly what a good offer does. It cuts right through the noise, which perfectly sets up the final piece of the wrapper we need to build, naming the offer.
You definitely cannot just call your new stack a coaching program. That is incredibly boring. The source uses this great framework called the Magic Formula for naming titles and headlines.
MAGIC. It's an acronym.
Let's break down the letters.
M is for magnet. This is the core reason they are looking to buy, like the word free or discount. A is for avatar, exactly who the offer is for. G is for goal, the specific dream outcome.
Okay, so MAG. What about I and C?
I is for interval. How long is it going to take them to get the result? And C is the container. What word are you using to describe the product? Is it a challenge, a blueprint, a masterclass?
Let's actually run an A/B test on this to hear the difference.
Yeah.
Say my current product is just called Weight Loss Program. Super boring. Let's apply the magic formula.
Okay, how about the free 6-week Lean Mommy Challenge?
Yeah, well, let's map that. Magnet is free.
Avatar is mommies, goal is lean, interval is 6 week. And the container is challenge.
It's a night and day difference. Let's do another one. Instead of just selling a marketing class,
5 clients in 5 days blueprint.
simple. Goal is 5 clients, interval is 5 days, container is blueprint.
It instantly makes the offer feel completely tangible. The buyer knows exactly what they're getting and exactly how long it's going to take.
And the craziest part about this is you didn't even change the underlying product. You literally just changed the wrapper around it. The wrapper is what actually gets the click.
Exactly.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today. We built the value stack. We priced it high. We drove down the time and effort. We added bonuses and guarantees, and we gave it a magic name. But before we wrap this up, let's talk about the pitfalls. What is the checklist of mistakes people need to avoid when they go to build this?
I would say there are 3 major traps to watch out for. First, being the second cheapest in your market.
Oh, yeah.
There's literally zero strategic advantage there. You either want to be the most expensive premium option or you want to be the absolute cheapest. But you can only be the cheapest if you have Walmart levels of scale. Being anywhere in the middle is just a slow death.
Makes sense. What's the second mistake?
Using vanilla guarantees. Saying satisfaction guaranteed doesn't mean anything to consumers anymore. It's just white noise. You have to make the guarantee hurt you, or you have to make it funny like the baby seal.
And the third mistake?
Satisfying demand completely.
Wait, walk me through that. Don't we ultimately want to sell as much of our product as humanly possible?
No, you want to keep the market hungry. If you have an unlimited supply of your offer, there is absolutely zero urgency for anyone to buy it today. You should always try to sell slightly less than the total demand.
Ah, I see.
Being able to say sold out is the single best marketing asset you can possibly have for your next launch.
Because it creates massive FOMO for the next time you open the cart. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? If you want to build this machine for your own business, what is the ultimate takeaway?
It means realizing that value is not an objective reality. Value is entirely subjective. It is a perception in the mind of your buyer.
Right.
You can completely change the trajectory of your business today without changing a single thing about your core fulfillment, just by changing how you present it. If you run your current offer through that value equation, if you increase the dream, increase the certainty, and drastically decrease the time and effort, you will create something that people truly feel stupid saying no to.
So here's your concrete call to action for this deep dive. Take your current product, go to a whiteboard right now and rename it using that magic formula. Build a stack of 3 digital bonuses that cost you nothing to reproduce but have high perceived value. And finally, slap a bold, risk-reversing guarantee on it to see what happens to your conversion rate.
I mean, you are literally only one Grand Slam offer away from total financial freedom. The math proves it.
It really does. Thanks for diving in with us today. We will see you on the next one.